Awesome. Ooh. Interesting.
All right, Snoke, you gotta tell me what's interesting. I think you're interested in maybe Batu's choice of civilization. Instead of going with Tets, he ended up choosing Wheats. Is that what you're surprised about or interested in?
Not for Batu. I've only seen Tiger Boss play Tezca. But Batu, I was expecting either one.
Okay. Roger that.
So, yeah.
I really like what he did right here, getting his boar into his TC. I think that's very nice.
Yep, nice and close like that. Good.
Okay, so anyways, we got Huitzilopochtli for Batuhan, and he is playing against Tiger Boss, who's already converting his boars, playing Set. Very nice, okay.
Interesting.
We got both players actually going on the top side of water. Okay, well, so this is interesting that we're playing on Anatolia. We've seen, I think we've seen Anatolia a handful of times in other matchups. And I actually have a question for you. So, these guys' build order is probably not going to be all that interesting. So this is a point of discussion here. So, let's look at the stats real quick. Where are they? Here they are, of the war canoes. So just to remind everybody, war canoes are the arrow ships for Aztec, and they only cost 1 population, but they're a lot cheaper. They have less hit points, they're cheaper, they have a little bit less damage. They have 4 pierce damage, I think like 6, 7, depending on the other arrow ships, it's either 6 or 7 usually. Anyway, so they cost less and they're less pop. Is it about 60%, something like that? It's something like that.
It's like 60% of a trireme.
Yeah.
Yeah, the equivalent of a trireme.
Okay. So my opinion is that early on, they might not be too strong unless you can get an additional dock out to spam them fast. They might not be too strong early, but they might be a little bit stronger later in bigger water fights, just because you'll be able to mass more of them since they're only 1 population, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So maybe a good strategy, like on Medit, would be to garrison them at the start, like in 3 docks, and then just send them all out at the same time. That's already a strategy, like an intermediate strategy, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, you can do a later advance.
That might be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a later advance on something like Mediterranean, and you get the dock spam going, and then just mass them up, as fast as possible, boom. If you're paying full price for a arrow ship like a cabinet or longboat, it's a little bit more difficult to spam them at 4.5, 5 minutes. Maybe if they're cheaper.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had a thought. So what you could do actually is use your Tlatoani and your warrior priest to defend instead of roaming around. They could defend your wood line too. You have 2 different units there, and you can create sacred dogs from your warrior priest as well.
Very true. Well, instead of defending, you could even go aggressive with that. Kind of like how Greeks can.
You could send 1 unit in and then just cast Jaguar Knight, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think we might have seen Grass and Groom do that, possibly. I know he really likes Jaguar Knight.
Yeah, I think he does, yeah.
What we're talking about
here... I know, as we know, it's still kind of a finicky god power.
A little bit. I mean, we're still in beta, so it's fine, but it still is pretty darn nice.
Most of the time it works. Most of the time.
Yeah. So we're talking about these 2 units here, everybody. The Tlatoani and the Warrior Priest. They're kind of like a Pharaoh and a Priest of Egyptian. Kind of. And this Warrior Priest can actually train sacred dogs. They're these little doggies that don't cost population. They're pretty expensive in the food department, but they're pretty darn decent, honestly. And we saw a little bit of some of those getting used, I think mainly by Joey. But yeah, you could actually do something kind of like maybe kind of like an oracle abuse or a hero abuse that Greek can do. Go and attack the colony while you're fighting on water at the same time. That could be a decent idea.
They're heroes, so they also benefit from armory upgrades. Worth mentioning.
Aha, very nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, so we talked about the war canoes, right? That they're cheaper, they're less pop, blah, 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 everything. But my theory is that on Anatolia, they're not going to be terribly strong. Because it's when it's like a little, since the water is thin on this side, something like a trireme with better range, something like a longbow with more HP, those might be a little bit stronger because in the choke point, the numbers don't quite matter as much.
Right, I'm feeling, I think you might be right.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but possibly.
I think they both, they're both, solid players, so they both seem to be, playing pretty normally, well enough. So we'll just see what happens.
Let's see. Okay, we got the Yahui out and about already. The animals doing some damage. War canoes. I'm actually going. Oh, I can't. Remind me to go into my settings and unlock the camera after this game. Okay. All right. Left side, we got Tiger Boss going pretty hard on the Covenants. Looks like he's pretty much got control of water over here. And on the right side, Batu's focusing a whole lot more.
Egypt does have those really cheap docks, right? So.
Dock spam,
Egypt
baby.
Hand of fire like that? That's a questionable usage.
Does the fire do any damage to the units inside of it?
It does military units, but not villagers.
Okay, nice. Well, so this god power, everybody, it creates a ring of fire, and enemy units cannot go outside of the ring of fire. They're stuck inside. And like Snoke just said, it does a little bit of HP damage to military units.
I'm gonna say that was a waste because it's very good classical god power, and only to kill 2 units. Okay, so we have fire strike, but it missed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should have saved those.
Well, from one point of view, over on this left side, Tiger Boss has already pretty much kicked him off of water. Its dock is going to be down pretty darn fast, even as a villager attacking it. And so I think maybe Batu just wanted to, boom, hit on the right side as hard and fast as possible. Okay. Get himself his own side of water won, and then both these guys are likely going to transition over to land pretty darn quickly.
It seems relatively even at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Having said that, although Tiger Boss definitely looks like he has pretty much all the fishing spots taken. Yeah. Okay. Batu is getting there. He's getting there.
A lot of fish.
A lot of fish for sure. Let's see. I wonder what Tiger Boss, how is he going to follow this up? We don't really see any land army from either of the players just yet. We have an armory.
Now might be a good time for 2 TCs from either player, right?
That's what I'm looking for. Town centers, forward buildings, heroic timings.
Exactly.
Heroic advancements.
All that jazz.
All that jazz. All right. Just for everybody's benefit, this is the first game, so for everybody's benefit, this is the Sampanfli, everybody. It generates a little trickle of favor. What else does it do, Snoke?
So it increases the capture rate of units that are the enemy units that come in its vicinity. So when you turn on capture mode, your units have an increased chance to capture enemy units or convert them into prisoners for favor.
Nice. How does that work, by the way? Oh, we actually do. We have heroic. Hang on, we have heroic coming in for Batu. He gets the Death's Awakening God power. That's kind of like Ancestors. He's going to land. He's trying to get a TC. But Tiger Boss, dude, he's got Kopesh coming out.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't. He needs to get some military in there to... That's not going to work. Oh, he's... Really?
Death's Awakening, dude. And the
Questionable god power usages, but okay.
He's going for the noble's quarters instead of going for
There's your
barracks.
favorite thing in the Civ.
Yeah, dude, CT Meadle, man. So awesome. Kill something, come on! Yeah! There we go.
Hell yeah. Almost. Come on. Do it. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Tiger Boss is also up through Nephthys.
Noble's quarters. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Noble's quarters.
Okay,
from one of these guys.
He's making Autometal Knights and also...
And Eagle Knights, too.
And Eagle Knights, yeah. So these are
Nice.
good against cavalry and archers, okay? And then the Autometal Knights are good against infantry.
Eagle is cavalry and archers. Autometals, infantry and archers.
Yeah.
Oh, so what was your question again? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember.
Capture mode. So every time a unit does like an auto attack against another unit, it's roughly a 2% chance to capture that unit.
Oh, okay.
And it increases. It's cumulative with how many, if more units are attacking the same target.
Okay, so if you want prisoners for favor, then you want all your army to engage with one unit, I suppose. Is that what you're saying? To try and attack one unit?
Right. I mean, if you really want to capture a particular unit, sure.
Otherwise, just let it happen.
I think just generally speaking with capture mode, whenever you have a distinct advantage, you can use it.
Okay.
Like in raiding, during a fight, you know you're going to win, or in a slow push, like a tower push, perhaps. Those are the kinds of situations I can see where capture mode is useful.
Speaking of useful, looks like these Noble's Quarters units are looking pretty darn useful themselves. These Eagle Knights, again, they're good against cavalry and archers, like you said.
Nice.
And then the Autometal Knights, they can smash the swords, the Kopesh pretty easily, and then again, those Eagle Knights doing well against the Chariot Archers.
This was actually showing, yeah, like good competency with Aztec right now, I feel.
Sure, yeah. I think that this is the first time I've seen anybody really try to mass the Noble's Quarters units. This is good.
Nice. All right.
One thing I really like here, Snoke, is that since Batu was able to secure this forward position, he's in a really nice position to put... he just has the map control, right? Not completely, but he has a little bit more initiative into the middle of the map. So, Tiger Boss has this TC, this settlement, way over on the right side. There is some gold that is nearby, but he does already have gold and whatnot over on this left side. So... Batu, he maybe can maintain some map control here, get a TC advantage. Exactly. Okay. So,
you know, with the Egyptian all too well, you really have to put the nails in the coffin. So, there's that. And if I were Batu, I would set up some side build with the craftsman's guild, so you have those siege.
Yeah. Do you think that, okay, so hang on, here comes the ancestors, okay? That's what I was just gonna say. I mean, you mentioned putting the nail into Egyptian early on. Ancestors definitely delays the nail in the coffin. Is this a good usage, though? I'm not so sure.
No, because it's like a defensive ancestors, right? Which is what he wants, right?
Yeah. However, tornado on the main base, okay. Ooh.
Oh, he's mythic, right? Yeah. Is that close enough?
Dude, he almost took down the TC and stopped Mythic from coming in. So there goes the TC to the tornado.
Oh, death from above, death from above.
Yeah, there's death from above. So a bunch of these CT Meadle units, it's kind of like Fimbulwinter, people, kind of like Fimbulwinter. All these CT Meadle units get spawned on the military buildings. Okay. It was nerfed a fair amount in between the last tournament and this one.
Right.
But it still seems to be pretty darn decent.
Right,
Very
combined
nice.
with, you know, and he's attacking at the same time, which is good.
Oh, dude, absolutely. If he can keep this, I mean, a bunch of archers probably won't be able to kick him off of this gold mine here, but if Batu can keep the spam going, maybe he can
keep up the pressure. Then
exactly.
I think, yeah,
exactly.
He didn't lose his TC, if I'm not mistaken.
He did lose a TC. He did. He did. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
There we have the mythic, what's it called? The mythic,
right.
Yeah.
So it's a two-head snake, and it splits into two separate myth units, like a Promethean when it dies. So it's like a stronger version of a Promethean.
It is like a mythic age Promethean, essentially.
Oh.
Dude, there we go. Tiger Balls
That's
calls
it?
it,
Aztec
man.
one?
He calls it. I'm a little bit surprised there, since...
Wow.
I mean, he is low on population right now, sure, but he has some buildings he can maybe, spam, maybe get up another Migdal to get some more units out. He did have
He's
two
not completely
TCs.
out of it, no.
I agree.
But, well played by Batu.
Well played by Batu, indeed. I think, actually, when he was getting this TC up, I think that Batu was a little bit lucky. The fact that he was aged up heroic right at that same time, so he was able to use Death's Awakening so that he could essentially solidify this position right here. Tiger Boss actually went heroic at the same time. I didn't mention it at the time. Tiger Boss got heroic at the same time. He maybe could have used Ancestors to try and counter Death's Awakening and stop all this from going up. That would have completely changed the game. He decided to hold on to it though, and there we go.
Right. Very good point. Okay. Yeah, that would definitely.
That would have changed things big time, eh?
For sure.
Well, there we have it, dude. Honestly, can I tell you something, Snoke? In the the semifinals, we saw a lot of these guys. They would just lose with Aztec, and then win with the normal gods. So it's actually, and then it would go all 5 games, and then inevitably somebody's going to win the Aztec mirror in the final game. So I'm glad to see Batu. Let's see on our camera. There we go. I'm glad to see Batu actually win a game with Aztec against a normal god. Very nice.
Yeah, it's clear to me he's actually done his due diligence since last time. Yeah.
Since the semifinals, at least, eh?
Right. Exactly.